Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Is Cleophas Malala back on his way to UDA again?
I state that my interest in all this is purely the pursuit of justice and to clear my name from possible speculations regarding my illegal removal. I have served diligently and obediently as Secretary General for the UDA party since I assumed office, popularized the party across the country, and grew the party by more than 3 million new members. I cannot, therefore, exit because of an illegal decision made by a handful of malicious party officials who are scared of my achievements at the party.
I'm asking that question because Cleophas Malala met with Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, I think some 2 days ago. Oparanya is a former deputy party leader of ODM party. He currently serves as a cabinet secretary in William Ruto's government. Why would a DCP deputy party leader meet with Ambetsa Oparanya, who is a close associate of President William Samoei Ruto? Of course, you can say that both of them come from Kakamega. But in politics, there's a way they communicate. And that's exactly what they communicated to us. And yesterday, Cleophas Malala confirmed it further. Cleophas Malala met with the PS for higher education. Let me just read for you what Malala posted. Because it can't be that Cleophas Malala is only meeting senior government officials from Kakamega County. It means there is something behind it. Is it now true that Cleophas Malala was William Ruto's mole in DCP? Let me read for you. I'm just getting it here. Let me read for you what Malala posted. This is what he posted. The people of Kakamega deserves quality service, inclusive development, and leadership that listens, serves, and delivers. Pleased to meet my 2022 gubernatorial running mate, Dr. Beatrice Muganda Inyagala, current PS for State Department for Higher Education. Our dream is alive to free our people from disunity, violence, and poverty. In peace and unity, we will build a prosperous, secure, and dignified Kakamega. The journey continues. You can't tell me that Malala can go and meet with the PS for education to discuss Kakamega. There is no way you can convince me that Malala can just wake up one day to go to meet Oparanya and discuss Kakamega. And in my previous analysis, when he met with Oparanya, I poked holes into his statement because Oparanya was very clear that they discussed politics, especially the two-term. Ladies and gentlemen, I want now to confirm to you that Cleophas Malala is on his way back to UDA party.
Wewe Sifuna utafute rangi ya yellow na brush nikupate Kisumu, ukipaka hizo ofisi ndio tukupatie pesa. Hakuna pesa utapata. Hakuna. Na tunaongea tukisema hakuna pesa mutapata ODM kama mujachukua brush, utafute ndoo kubwa, uchukue mbadi. Wewe na Junet muende mutafute ngazi, mupake hiyo ofisi yetu yellow ndio mupate pesa.
And there's a question which I used to ask. Allow me to ask it again. Do you know of anything which could have caused fallout between William Ruto and Malala? Just one thing. Because personally, I always believed that Malala was sent by Ruto to spy on Rigathi Gachagua.
We have since asked our new Secretary General. This is his first time to be an SG of one of the biggest parties in this country, and we will ask him to go slow to avoid roadside declarations and announcements that brings friction amongst the member parties of Kenya Kwanza.
But then, this person was elevated to the position of Secretary General of the party just the other day. Soon after he was, declared or announced as the Secretary General, he starts making this conversation, even on the day of the new leadership of UDA being announced. It sounds to many of us that this is a conversation that took place during that meeting. Maybe it was not formally raised, but it was a suggestion that was put forth. And so what the Secretary General is doing is basically amplifying this as a proposal.
Where we have meetings, you can't rule out such proposals. Maybe there was such a proposal that maybe we fold parties. Maybe there was another one saying we maintain their identities. But the fact that he made those pronouncements immediately after being put in that position, it doesn't mean that it's a true position,
Because, of course, Rigathi was impeached. William Ruto was mad with him. But at what point did William Ruto disagree with Malala? Personally, I've been following politics. I failed to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I want us to talk about Malala going back to UDA. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the first reason for me is the Trojan horse factor. Let us just be honest. Rigathi Gachagua is the party leader of DCP. Have you ever seen Rigathi Gachagua meeting? Of course they meet, maybe privately, or they just bump into each other in hotels. But have you seen Rigathi Gachagua sharing a photo with any William Ruto's cabinet secretary, or even going to their offices? That's forbidden in politics. I'm saying that because Malala is the deputy party leader, DCP. Just last week, he hosted the entire United Opposition in the Luhya nation. Then after that event, which was successful, what does he do? He goes and meets Oparanya. And the limelight is not taken from that event to him and Oparanya. We all know that Cleophas Malala is looking to be the governor for Kakamega. But again, is that viable under DCP? Do you believe Malala made enough money to contest? Because even the house where he held meetings was constructed for him by William Ruto. So I think it's the Trojan horse. The timing is now out for him to bolt out. As a matter of fact, this a day I did an analysis here that Cleophas Malala will definitely run for Kakamega, but not under DCP. I had predicted that he would run under independent, but with the support of the deep state. So I think the issue of the Trojan horse is now parried. Number two, politics is local. That is the truth. Do you think Cleophas Malala can win Kakamega using DCP? Of course, there was that by-election, which they won. But again, if you look at it critically, that by-elections was actually planned that way because the ODM candidate who was very popular was locked out for no reason. Yeah? And in fact, for me, I've always believed that that win in Chessboard was to elevate Malala, to make him believe that he's very powerful. And because politics is local, he has to align himself with the local party politics. ODM has Baraza. Baraza is very unpopular as we speak. As at now, politics change, it might change, but as we speak, it's not very popular. Let me put it that way. Who else is running in Kakamega? Elsie Muhanda. And even I think yesterday, during one of the burials there, Malala talked about Elsie. Elsie is a candidate of Oparanya, which means ideally Elsie should be Cleophas Malala's enemy. But that's not the case. He's working with him. So in my view, what Malala is trying to do, he wants to run for the Kakamega, but he wants to try to appeal to Oparanya and all these other guys so that he can then end up being the independent candidate, if not UDA. Because so far, UDA does not have a candidate in Kakamega. He can go back, then contest under that banner. Number 3, I think there was this mistrust between Malala and Rigathi Gachagua. But I want to assume that Rigathi Gachagua started suspecting Cleophas Malala as an agent. And because of that, Rigathi, in his own wisdom, decided to appoint John Methu as the UDA spokesperson. The moment he did that, power left the desk of Cleophas Malala and went straight to John Methu. That is something which Malala did not take lightly. And of course, Rigathi has been suspecting him that, this guy could be a mole. So he was being sidelined. And because of that mistrust, Malala is finding himself operating solo. And for me, I don't know whether that's a good politics for him, but I want to assume that's not a very good politics for him. And number 4 is what I call political relevance. When he was in DCP, and there was no Linda Wananchi, Cleophas Malala was relevant, politically speaking, to Ruto and even to the people on there. When Sifuna emerged, Sifuna went with the ground. So Ruto did not see the political relevance now of Cleophas Malala working around Rigathi. So probably now they've planted someone else in Linda Wananchi. So Malala has been told, fold up your things. Go back. Go back. Because of the Sifuna emergence, which has now rendered all his activities irrelevant. And importantly, I'm looking at deep state factor. The deep state has realized now that, Malala now being a deputy party leader without a portfolio, he can't speak for the party, he's being sidelined, he can't attend those high sensitive meetings with Rigathi Gachagua, he's locked out, he's not invited. What do? Start bringing him back on. And of course, remember, for William Ruto, he needs that solid Luhya votes. If Malala was working from outside, that would totally be different. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.